I've put together 5 Rhea Ripley dream matches that I absolutely think can happen in 2025, and in this video, I'm going to list all 5 competitors. Now, I want to put case in point that there is one name that is not on this list, and I'll tell you why in one moment. Rhea Ripley had a banger of a 2023 year. It was a year that put her on the map, winning Royal Rumble, winning the Women's Championship from Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 39. She had a up and down 2024 that only made her a bigger star, despite her missing almost half of the year due to injury. Her feuds with Nia Jax, Elimination Chamber headliner. Her feud with WrestleMania 40, Becky Lynch. Obviously, her feud with Liv Morgan, and as we go into 2025, and she's inching closer to WrestleMania, I think she's only going to have a bigger year. Bianca Belair, who is someone that WWE reportedly is interested in having her work with at Mania, if not already confirmed, is someone that she has worked with in the past. They worked a handful of matches down in NXT, so that is why she is expelled from this list. But in terms of main roster matches, I don't think they've had one singles match. If they have, no one remembers it, but it is definitely a big-time match in which both women want to get done. And I think in time that they will. It's a money match between 2 top stars. Now, with all that being said, it sets the stage for the 5 opponents. 5 opponents in which she's never worked with on a singles match basis. That's very important. That is not to say that Rhea Ripley has not worked with these talents in Royal Rumbles or 6-woman tags or ladder matches or Elimination Chambers or any other multi-person type matches. I'm talking about pure singles matches because in my opinion, I think the basis of this argument is it comes down to, do you work together in a one-on-one basis? Because let's be real, one-on-one basis outside your Royal Rumbles and your Money in the Banks, they sell the most tickets. Now, with that being said, let's get into it. Number 5, it's Giulia. Now, Giulia, obviously making a name for herself in Japan, signing with WWE NXT in 2024, and obviously winning the NXT Women's Championship. She's been off to a great start. You knew that she was going to have high potential. You knew they were going to push her to the moon, and that's exactly what they've been able to do. And you know what? Props to them for doing it because it's been a bang-up type job. Now, look, Giulia is going to be on the main roster anytime soon, because she is NXT Women's Champion. So don't expect it right now, but could it happen in late 2025? Absolutely. At a time in which WWE is looking to expand its rosters because of Raw and SmackDown being 3 hours, I can see Giulia being up on the main roster within by the summer. Having her work with Rhea Ripley, it is a true dream match because it's going to bring a very interesting dynamic. You have the wild yet hard-hitting style, technical style of Giulia with the raw power of Rhea Ripley. That is magic, and I think it's something which WWE can draw big bucks with as well. Number 4, Tessa Blanchard. Now, hear me out on this. I understand that she's in TNA wrestling, and I understand that there's a lot of controversy when it comes around her, whether it's bullying accusations, racist accusations. I get all that. And while she's not in WWE, that doesn't mean anything. Number 1, WWE and TNA have a working relationship. NXT talent go to TNA, and TNA talent go to NXT. Tessa Blanchard, we don't know the length of her TNA deal. She could easily be brought in as a one-off, and she could obviously be signed if they wanted to. A lot of people think that's a speculation as to why she went to TNA, because she feels like it can be a leap jump to WWE. I don't necessarily like her personally. However, I don't know the woman, and I can respect someone for being an outstanding worker and an outstanding pro wrestler. With that being said, I think this is a match that is flying under the radar. I think Tessa Blanchard will be in WWE by the end of the year, and I think that there is a real possibility that they could get it done this year, if not in the future, at least by 2026. If you can do that, it is a money match if you can build it up. The promos, the intensity, obviously bringing Tessa in as a heel. She's one of the best heels in all of pro wrestling. Rhea Ripley, one of the most over baby faces in pro wrestling. So there is a lot of magic to this potential match. Number 3. Now, I was shocked by this name, and it's Asuka. They have never worked a singles match. Not in NXT, not on the main roster, all the years. I mean, Rhea Ripley's been on the main roster for several years now. 2019, I believe. Asuka, obviously a little bit before then. They've never worked each other, and I was stunned by that because NXT, Asuka was a huge star. Rhea was a huge star, but Asuka got called up before Rhea really made the transition from NXT UK, because she was a top star for them for years, to NXT. And mostly they've been stayed off, the same brands and everything like that. Now, I understand that Asuka's been out for an injury and been out for a minute, but I think it's a very fun style. They would just go in there and just have a banger. The build up to it, probably not the greatest, but Asuka can still get a reaction like no one else can. She has the ability to get fans emotionally invested in her matches and her characters. She's such a dynamic and interesting performer that I think these two would stand out above the rest. And it's one of the better matches that I think WWE can do. And the fact that they've never touched in terms of a singles match, it only makes you more interested. She and Rhea has only worked twice, I believe, and they were both, multi-person matches. So I'm very, very interested to see if they can get that done. Number 2, this is no-brainer. It's Jade Cargill. Now, in years past, or at least in the years past, I would have put Jade as number 1 on this list. There's someone else on there that I think is a little bit bigger right now. But Jade Cargill, obviously jumping from AEW to WWE in 2023, it was one of those matches where we always fantasized, we always wondered what would it be like if Jade Cargill shared the squared circle with Rhea Ripley. Well, now it's a possibility. Now, obviously, WWE has kept Jade Cargill as a tag team player, putting her in a tag team role with Bianca Belair very smartly on Friday Night SmackDown. Rhea Ripley, top star on Monday Night Raw. But as I would say 2025 and on, I think Jade is going to really morph into and really transition into a single star. And I think she's going to pay off huge for the promotion. I think she's going to be one of their next top tier stars. In fact, I think she's going to be women's champion by the end of 2025. Regardless, booking Jade and Rhea, it's two powerhouses going at it. I'm sure the promos leading up to it could be fun as well, especially if you do heel versus baby, but like right now they're both baby faces, so that could actually still work, because it's just one of those matches. It's like, all right, it's going to be carnage, but who's going to be left standing, right? It's one of those type matches. And I think as long as you keep that style, you keep that build, I think they're going to pay off in a huge, huge way once WWE opts to pull the trigger and book these two in a singles match. Tiffany Stratton, I'll tell you why. Tiffany Stratton has really, really, over the last 6 months, ever since she won Money in the Bank, aligned herself with Nia Jax, ultimately winning the Women's Championship, she's really put herself into a main event scene. I've said this once, I've said it before, championships don't make top-tier stars makes championships, a.k.a. The Miz. And so if you look at Tiffany Stratton, what she's been able to accomplish over the last 6-8 months, really, really impressive. Like, obviously the machine is behind her. Obviously they're putting her in these top positions, but the fans, they're actually rallying behind her. They actually like to see what she's doing. And she's always been someone that WWE's always pushed, NXT, main roster, etc. You put her against Rhea, I mean, that is a classic babyface versus heel type dynamic. It's something that works. It's something in which I think could draw huge, huge money. I think it's a definite PLE main event type match, and I think it's arguably a WrestleMania type match should they do it, especially since they've never touched in a singles match.